The crystalline throne of Velshara had never known such silence. Queen Avalora sat motionless, her bioluminescent skin dimmed to a pale gray, her 6 elegant fingers clutching the armrests, as if the galaxy itself might slip away. 3 solar cycles had passed since the Battle of Korvath Prime, where her daughter, Princess Thalia, had led the vanguard against the Skrell Dominion. 3 cycles since the fleet returned without her. "The human requests an audience, Your Majesty," her chancellor announced, his voice barely above a whisper. Avalora didn't move. Humans, the newest species to join the Galactic Concordat, barely 2 generations into spaceflight. What could one of them possibly want with her now? "Send him away," he says. He says it concerns Princess Thalia. The Queen's eyes snapped open, blazing with sudden violet light. "Bring him." Jackson Vale had seen plenty of alien architecture in his 5 years as a salvage runner. But the palace of Velshara took his breath away. Towers of living crystal spiraled into the lavender sky, humming with energy that made his teeth ache. He'd come a long way from the mining colonies of Titan, and every step of this journey had been illegal, dangerous, and absolutely necessary. The throne room doors opened with a sound like singing glass. Queen Avalora sat before him, and despite her diminished luminescence, she was magnificent, 8 feet tall, willowy, with features that seemed carved from moonlight. But it was her eyes that stopped him, ancient, alien, and drowning in grief that transcended species. "Speak, human," she commanded. "You have 30 seconds before I have you removed." Jackson reached into his jacket slowly, watching the guards' plasma rifles track his movement. He pulled out a small data chip and held it up. "Your Majesty, my name is Jackson Vale. I'm a salvage runner. And 3 weeks ago, I was illegally scrapping wreckage in the Korvath debris field." He paused. "I found an escape pod. It was offline, nearly destroyed. But the life support was still running on backup power. Inside was a Velsharan female with royal insignia. She was barely alive." The Queen rose slowly from her throne, her skin flickering with unstable light. "Where is she safe?" "On my ship, in medical stasis." "But Your Majesty, there's a problem. The Skrell know she survived. I've been running from their hunters for 2 weeks. I can't keep her safe much longer, and I can't bring her here without leading them straight to Velshara." Avalora descended the steps, and Jackson forced himself not to back away as she towered over him. "Why would a human risk his life for a Velsharan princess? What do you want? Credits? Technology? A pardon for your illegal activities?" Jackson met her gaze steadily. "Respectfully, Your Majesty, I don't want anything. I saw a person dying in the void, and I helped. That's what humans do. We're good at surviving in impossible situations, and we're even better at dragging others along with us." For the first time in 3 cycles, something like hope flickered in Avalora's eyes. "You truly expect nothing in return?" "I expect you to help me get your daughter home alive," Jackson said. "I'm one human with a beat-up freighter and a stolen medical pod. You're the queen of the 2nd most powerful species in the Concordat. Together, we might actually pull this off." The plan was insane, which was why it might actually work. Jackson's ship, the Resilient Fool, would broadcast a false distress signal from the opposite side of the Velsharan system, drawing the Skrell hunters away. Meanwhile, a small, unmarked shuttle would extract the princess from Jackson's hidden outpost on the moon of Velshara 3. But Jackson insisted on one change to the Queen's plan. He would fly the decoy mission himself. "You would sacrifice yourself?" Avalora asked, confused. "You could simply provide us the coordinates and leave." Jackson checked his weapons one last time. "Your Majesty, I've seen what the Skrell do to prisoners. If I'm going to paint a target on my back, I'm going to make damn sure I'm good enough to keep it there long enough for you to get Thalia home." "Humans are strange creatures," the Queen said softly. "We're survivors," Jackson corrected with a grim smile. "And we're stubborn as hell." The Resilient Fool screamed through the void, pursued by 3 Skrell destroyers. Jackson's fingers danced across the controls as plasma fire lit up space around him. His ship shuddered with each near miss. But he'd pushed her through worse. "Come on, you scale-faced bastards," he muttered. "Just a little longer." On his scanner, a small green dot moved steadily toward Velshara Prime. The shuttle. It was working. A direct hit rocked the Fool, and alarms shrieked. "Hull breach in Sector 3. Engines at 40%. He wasn't going to make it to the jump point, but he'd bought enough time. Jackson diverted all remaining power to a final burst of speed, then ejected in an escape pod just as the resilient Fool exploded in a brilliant fireball. The Skrull ships peeled away, satisfied with the destruction, floating in the dark, running on minimal power. Jackson watched the shuttle's dot reach the palace. Then he closed his eyes and waited, hoping the Queen's rescue teams were as good as she'd promised. Queen Avalora held her daughter for the first time in 3 cycles. Princess Thalia was weak, scarred, but alive. The physicians said she would recover fully. "Mother," Thalia whispered. "How did you find me?" "I didn't," Avalora said, tears of light streaming down her face. "A human did." 2 days later, a small medical frigate docked at the palace. Jackson Vale was escorted in on a stretcher, suffering from exposure and radiation poisoning, but grinning like an idiot. Queen Avalora herself came to his bedside. "You survived." "Of course you did." "Stubborn, remember?" Jackson wheezed. The Queen placed a hand on his shoulder, and her skin glowed warm gold. "Jackson, Vale of Earth, you have given me back my daughter, my heir, my reason to hope. The Vel-Sharon people are forever in your debt." "Just doing what humans do, Your Majesty." Avalora smiled, a genuine smile that lit up the entire medical bay. "Then perhaps the galaxy needs more humans." As Jackson drifted into healing sleep, he thought about home, about the mining colonies, where people looked out for each other, because no one else would. Maybe that's what humanity brought to the stars, not superior weapons or faster ships, but the simple, stubborn refusal to leave anyone behind, even a princess. Even in the dark,